I woke up thinking it hadn't been much of a spring, rainy and cold. I was hungry for breakfast. Maybe bacon, egg, and cheese on a toasted sesame bagel. They don't make good bagels in New York City anymore. Other cities emulating New York make better bagels than New York. Isn't that disappointing? But before I allowed myself to fall into a food-related vortex of regret and anger, I groaned to a standing position, took 2 steps, my right heel hurting when I put weight on it, and peered around the side of the shade, out at our 3rd-floor balcony and the gleaming blue city beyond. Sunny, June, 2022. I looked back at the bed where Laura, on the far side, lay smothered in our white comforter and her own black hair. She pretended to be asleep while I pulled on cargo shorts, a torn flannel, and a crusty cap, thus completing a look I called down on his luck fisherman. Feet clad in flip-flops, I crept out the apartment door. Wondering for no apparent reason whether Laura and I should have had children, I padded down the long hallway toward the center elevator, the dull sconces turning on as I passed. Yeah, my heel was still hurting. Bone spur? What exactly is a bone spur? Maybe it's one of those things that's well enough left alone? Hitting the down button, I pondered my lifelong philosophy of leaving well enough alone. Had that been a mistake? But then in the elevator, a follow-up thought. No use fighting one's own nature. That's a losing battle. The doors slid open onto the ivy-trellised lobby, and there she was, Alina, small behind the granite-topped front desk, reading a paperback with a library number on the spine. She looked up. Oh, those large, unfashionable glasses, her professional lacy white button-down, and that smile. And she said, "Good morning, Paul." Yes, it is a good morning, Alina. It's sunny, it's June, it's 2022. But I merely grumbled, "Morning," because I didn't want my sudden internal cheeriness at the sight of her to freak her out. Our tenant-slash-front desk person relationship rested on a bedrock of apparent apathy. "Did you forget someone?" she asked. "Oh, shit, the dog. Hopefully it's asleep on the couch." I'd hear hell from Laura about not taking the dog out when I got back upstairs. Unless it found a job and entered society, that would be a relief. Alina didn't laugh. But why should she? It wasn't funny. She just stared at me, waiting for me to say something else stupid. She did that sometimes. That was our thing. No, we didn't have a thing. After all, I was a middle-aged man who knew his way around a muffin and looked it. And she was cute and smart and maybe 30. I wasn't that deluded. Not yet. "Want anything from outside?" I said, because I had to say something. "Where are you going?" "Bagels, bagels, bagels." "Their bagels are good." "They're not, but I'm going there anyway." "Nah, I'm okay." I squinted down the sidewalk, leaning on my left foot to relieve the pain in my right. Next to me, 4 lanes of early morning traffic lazily loped in both directions on McGinnis Boulevard. I wondered whether there was anything in my repertoire with Alina that I hadn't covered that I could bring up on my way back in. Ah, yes, we did have one inside joke. I'd say, "Still trying to get fired?" And she'd say, "You know I am." Because she was trying to get fired, and I knew that she was. Honestly, I thought while waiting for my breakfast sandwich, she isn't trying very hard. I'd learned over months of idle chit-chat that Alina had taken this job sitting at the front desk of a luxury building in Greenpoint, Brooklyn, because it gave her time to work on her chick-lit romance novel. Her home life was chaotic, so it was difficult for her to write there. She was Dominican, or Puerto Rican, or half of each, or half of one. This should have been an easy thing to verify, but honestly, too many questions. They felt creepy. And who knows, I could do something stupid like mispronounce Dominican?